Within a short time, we may not cover up the main thing. So what I propose and what I think that the introduction of the case study is important. Then second question would be coming, and we have to talk about how the case should be written. What are the way you can have the business to business case driven system being developed by us. Maybe we can take the support of our students who have been doing the summer training program. The session aims to understand that case study is a research approach, not a method. See, I used to be see that in some of the places in India, people are saying that it's a case study method. I say no, case study it is not a case study method. It is a method where instead of to going to the teacher-centered system, we are coming down to the participative centered system of teaching and learning. Secondly, thing is very important that case study is not only supporting the students community, it is providing the learning process to the faculty also. Like as a faculty, I'm not in a position to go every type of institutions and to understand everything. But one group of students or some students are taking a summer training program in the chemical industry, some are taking in the textile industry, like something, and different area of working they are doing it. Based on that, they are making a summer internship project presentation. They wherever the faculty feel advisable based on their own specialization, they can go on developing the cases on that. So we will be having a somewhere the case setting, case setting. Those are the very important points for coming and the type of the case. So what is a case study? The Johnson have state is an inquiry which uses multiple sources of evidence. Multiple sources we are getting a case study. Like whenever we go to the movie, like I any movie you can go and you can find out that there are the certain multiple sources of informations have been available. And very importantly, I like the movie like a Nav You Zindagi, where from that only you can develop 2 3 different type of case studies. So it investigates the contemporary phenomena when the boundaries between the phenomena and context are not clearly evident to you. So it's focused on understanding the dynamic pattern within a single setting. So Novyujingi is providing you some different type of the parameters, and it makes you to understand that how the things are being done. When we look to the Unchai movie very recently came of the Amitabh Bachchan, it provides the third type of the case study parameters to us, that how we. So case study is basically popular research method. I say that I'm going to be said as a research method, not only method in business area. Research method means whenever we are going to the industry, we are trying to study something. We make sure that it gives us some idea about the business problems have been happen, organizational problem happen, financial problems happen. So case studies aim to analyze specific issue within the specific boundaries of a specific environment, situation or organization. So whenever the case studies are being done for the Gujarati SMEs, the situation is different. But when we go towards the other place SMEs working, that their managers may be getting a better authority to do the working. When we go to the textile merchant shopkeeper in the city, and when we try to be purchase something, then salesman is also being in a position to decide something, so offer you the discount. So we have to understand that how much authority should be given, or does it going to be played the positive one or the negative one? That is the aim of the case study. So case study is basically the quantitative. So as you see it on the right hand side of the photographs, there is a quantity of the Ahmedabad sewage line. I'm just making a joke. Or Gujarat sewage line having shown that how the sewage line is not working properly. It may be the single example, or there is someone that capman is being writing something, so he's taking a extensive data connection. Case study examples are basically copying students who are stubborn in learning to read. You know, we have basically the GTU based students are there. My exposure candidate of our GTU students that they are going with a 4 module only, 5th module there is a project is given and everything is being managed in a not proper way. So whenever cases are being given, the very important benefit is that the students' reading speed have been increased. They are understanding the technical words have been increased. Agriculture and or industrial and or service enterprise education department can also use the case study method. School and higher education management have to use it. Knife knowledge curriculum project is going to be the base of case study. Let us I will give you the example that Soviet University of the Meerut, where I have been associated as since last 4 or 5 years, where basically agriculture level they try to make the yudyaks in their area. Normally the yudyaks have been planted in an area where the corn level is very high. While in the Meerut is having a different situation. But there the Soviet agriculture department, there's some research have been undertaken. And nowadays they are making so many quantity of the yudyaks. So it may also involve some of the ongoing processes where the students and teachers have been involved. What I say that in the case of the Soviet. The event can also be become the case study example. Like whenever at this moment in Ahmedabad, the Pramukh Swami program is going in, first day 2 lakh persons have come. How did he manage the food quantity? How they have managed the queues? Made the things very clear. That is also going to be give you the idea to open up not less than 10 case studies. Only it's only important that how much involvement have been done by everyone. There may be the some activity to use a computer, so it's going to be the simulation method. In financial management, we use a simulation method, where the students can be trained to prepare at a macro level on the action sheet, the certain programming, so that every time the budgeted value can be changed from the main value. Like we can have the 60% capacity utilization, 80% capacity utilization. But when my achievement have been happened to the 60%, I have to adjust my budget to the 60%. So somewhere the macro working is done. And whatever the problems have been faced by the students, dialogue have been taken by them with our concerned users. That can also be the so attributes of a good case study that is a very important or powerful message to need the thing. The needing can be done by teacher and anyone. It sparks a conversation with the interview. It means that you are going to be asked to the particular question that what is happened and what are the way it can be done. It includes open-ended questions and did any such response about the excellent service or product you provide. When we say the open-ended question means the whole thing. Whenever we are saying the Harvard cases are basically the open-ended question, open-ended case. So in that case, there is nothing having said that what is to be done. So the same case can be taught by HR faculty, the same case can be taught by marketing faculty by their own perception. And students can be taken on. So categories. So I'm coming to the two things. Categories of case study and types of case study. Number of times the people are saying the open-ended case study, closed-ended case study, exploratory case study are the types. No, they are different. When we say the categories, means categories are two only, and within two categories, you have the own different types can be used by you. Open-ended question is prompt a participant to answer with sentence, list, and stories, giving deeper and new insight. And this can be used on the strategic management course. Like what is happened, how is being happened, where it will happen, when it was happened, why it was happened, and who have done it. So in an open-ended question, it is going to be the very importantly, people are going to be say that what is the role I am supposed to play. During my doctorate study before 27 years ago, and so whenever I was studying in the institute, there is a open-ended case. Every student is supposed to be take the different role play given in the case. Like if in a case that the five people name is given, then we make the five students by particular name and we say that you talk that how you feel this particular thing to be done. So it's enough to give the form answer, you can do it. So there is a three thing is coming: lecture method, close-ended case, and open-ended case. Very important thing. In the lecture, there is a one way respect have been done. Teacher is going to be active. It provides the fixed answer to the students. So students are in passive. In the case of the close-ended case or open-ended case. In the case of the close-ended case, student is going to be give the fixed answer and he seeks the knowledge from the teacher. The close-ended cases where question number 1, 2, 3 and sub-question number is being given. Like in the numerical based courses, we are using the close-ended cases. Open-ended cases, I say that it is going to be highly active participants between the students and teacher. But in the case of open-ended case, the teacher have to be very, very conscious that discussion does not go outside the boundaries of the thought parameters of his session plan or the learning objective of his session plan. So joint exploration of complex real-life situation where neither question nor the answers are known. In the open-ended case, it mainly happen that you have to find out what is the probable question, probable problem, and what answer is said. And that's why there is a role playing by every student is going to be quite important. Close-ended case, knowing your business model is critical to business success. It's a very important. So in the close-ended case, what is being happen? That whatever the business models are there or the situations are being there, we limit the answer through tighter thought process, tighter in thought process within the boundaries of the course. So we, like in an accountancy subject or financial management cases of a capital structure or something, it is being said that how would you feel that the model is being applicable or not like that. Generally, the numerical based courses like finance, account. Now, what I understand from Mrs. Binda that There are the MCA faculties are also there. So you are going to be go to the close-ended case because your objective would be to prepare a specific solution, specific software for a particular requirement of the customer. So close-ended cases are being required can be answered with yes or no or the limited set of possible answers. So when we say the categories, the deniability of the data in the open-ended case is no, while in the case of the closed-ended case it will be high. Efficient use of time. In the case of open-ended cases, no, because there is a chances that some of the participants may take the discussion on the some another parameters which may not be relevant. While in the close, everything is coming within the proper time parameters. Precision of data will be very low in the case of open-ended, but it's going to be very high in the case of the closed-ended. Breadth and depth. Breadth means the area you cover, you are going beyond the boundaries of a particular course, and depth means going into the depth of the problem. Means you can say that key, find out the basic cause of the problem to happen. Is very much high in case of open-ended course, but in the closed-ended course you are being limited with a given situation, given answer, so it is little. Same way, undertaking the interviewer skin means here I can say that as an interviewer means it may be the faculty or some of the managers of the company. Faculty's skin is required is much high in case of the open-ended case, when in the case of closed-ended it is little. The reason is that the answer to be looked from the closed-ended case are being very question specific. So teacher can come with a teaching note, prepare it before come to the classroom, and he can do it. The ease of analysis. Making the analysis of the case. Open-ended case is very difficult because the same case can be taught by finance teacher also, sometimes taught by HR teacher also, marketing teacher also, OB teacher also, because the case is going more than 10 pages to up to the 120 pages or 130 pages. Because they are going to be basically made on the Harvard-based cases, as you are knowing that it is always going to be more detailed cases, open-ended. When we come down to the case center cases, or previously we used to be saying as a European case center. European case center, which is now being named as a case center, I being using the closed-ended case more, and it is easy to do the cases. Now I say categories of the cases are two only. I am very openly saying open-ended, closed-ended. Within that, in any of the case, you can have the 6 type of the cases can be done. Intrinsic, instrumental, explanatory, descriptive, exploratory, and multiple case. Intrinsic case study is happen basically researcher is interested in understanding a specific individual or situation. Like why Mr. X resigned from the company. Then it is going to be the intrinsic case study. Or why a particular movie have been famed in the market. So here what happened, that particular movie or whenever we say that the Mr. X have resigned from the company, why? Then there may be the reason you have to make it as a pathway, like family problems, timing problem, increments given to him, working environment problem. So many things are there. So you separate out the point. Like we use the Nikot scan. In the normal case, in the research, you can use it. So intention case study. Second is coming with respect to instrumental case study. Researcher is interested in something more than just a particular case. It means that whenever we try to be safe, that like any religious you can take it, okay? Like people are saying that there is going to be I'm a Jain, so I say that I prepared some research paper based on the impact of Jain ideology on the ecology, environmental effect, how it's being supported. So it's a something more than just a particular case. So it studies the case only as a someone have the natural goal. Like someone today looks toward the Pramukh Swami program, events happening in Ahmedabad, they make a study. So it provides the natural goal or the global challenge and situation that how it can be done. So it's going to be applied beyond the case. Like what I said, that when I talk about in a particular conference and I draw the papers and discuss in detail that how Jain philosophy is from the beginning supporting the environment. So when that paper have been published, people across the globe have thought that there is a Jainism which have already started about it since thousands of years ago. So now this is basically beyond a particular case it goes and make the things known to other places. Third is coming explanatory case studies where aim to answer how and why question with a neat control on behalf of the researcher. So there is a very neat control is happened with the researcher over the occurrence of the same. So it's focused on phenomena within the context of real life situation. So very importantly, real life situation have been taken, and within that, you are coming down to the particular phenomena, like an investigation into the reasons of global financial and economic crisis is the one of the explanatory case study. Or we can say that in today's culture, someone can say that recession in the global economy on account of COVID-19 can be said. And that particular case study is known as the explanatory study. So explanatory research question lies beneath these analyses. There is a relationship between the share of migrant population in a given community and the way migration is seen by its member. Like when we say that from India, normally it is being said from Gujarat, that more and more Pathan people are trying to be go to the US countries and those and to establish there, settle down there. So it is basically coming with respect to the explanatory research. Anak kami dia tahu comforted. Another is coming descriptive case study. Aim to analyze, ચાલુ કહ્યું છે? Aim to analyze the sequence of interpersonal events after a certain amount of time has passed. Sequence of interpersonal relationship. So descriptive case study is very importantly, we can say in the case of the social science, in the case of the life science, that what are the interpersonal events have been taken place. Like someone can say that at a particular level or in a particular place, particular community, the proportion of the divorce have been increased. So, there are interpersonal events have been taken place. Now, you can make a descriptive case study on that. Or somewhere the people are saying that okay, now there is a trend have been increased to inter-community. Sorry, inter-community marriages are taking place. Now we can go to the last 2-3 years. Certain marriages are taken place between the different communities, boys from different communities, girls from different communities, and then we make a reason, find out the reason for that. Does this because of educational level, or what other points are there? So that case study is also giving the idea that how the people across the globe are changing their attitude. Now you must have read it in the newspaper that one of the Ahmedabadi boy have get married to the Spanish girl. One of the Ahmedabad-based boy have get married with a Japanese girl. Like that type of thing is providing you the idea for the case study. So study in business research belonging to this category, that is case study research, describe culture or subculture, and they attempt to discover the key phenomena. Like we can say at this moment that MBA students are being not in an employability category. Reason being can be found out. Thus, there is a curriculum problem. That curriculum is being limited and thought process, creative thought process, thinking beyond the boundaries which is provided by the case studies are not being there. So, as a teacher, we have to make sure that our students are employable. And when those students are being meet us, like my example is there, that over the years, so many students have met me, studied under me. I may not be recall their name, but whenever I go to any banking or financial institutions, I found one thing that some of the students is coming who is at a higher level also. Say, sir, just come in my room, sit there, they offer the cup of tea, and my work is done by sitting to that table. So this is basically indicating that how the case study have made them to thought in a different way. So as a teacher, it is going to be the rewarding, but it's basically taking a good level of the study we have to do it. And that's why I say that we have so many study books we have. Impact of increasing level of multi-concernism on marketing processes. McDonald's Indonesia is one of the very famous case paper is there. And that descriptive case study I have done one time I was in a particular place. Then we have the explanatory. One we did explanatory. Now we are coming down to the explanatory. Here the aim to find out what or whom. So exploratory case study data connection method is often accompanied by additional data connection method such as interviews, questionnaire, experiment. We try to do that how the things are being happen. And those type of cases are being taught by us in the OB subject also. This is the example of the OB. A study into the difference of leadership practices between private and public sector organization in Atlanta of the USA. Now, exploratory case study, very important parameters available in India also. That if some person is retiring from the public sector units, like income tax department or any place as an officer, and when they sit at a home, their family life is get disturbed. because they are being in a position to commanding the thing, ordering the things. But when it comes to the feminine life, ordering and commanding is not every time applicable. So exploratory case study give the example to you that why the individual superannuated person's feminine life may be disturbed. So you can make an exploratory case study on the life sciences. So audio recording of the teacher's lesson is very important in this. So each time teacher was observed, the PI made audio recording of the teacher's lesson. These recordings were later transcribed and coded for frequency or language use and how the language was used. So there is an audio recording of the teacher's lesson have been done. After the last classroom observation, each teacher was interviewed individually to gather the additional data on their use of English and Spanish in the classroom. Because in the University of Navarra, Spain, when I was doing some working with them in the recent past, I found that they are not being using the English at much better way. So you require the additional data that how that can be improved upon. There is going to be the another one that is known as the multiple or connective case study. And as I shown it, finally the person is going on sleep. Because they use the multiple cases at the same time. See, the multiple cases at the same time or in the same classroom, like more than one case can be done in the case of close-ended case in the area of the finance and accounting. But when it comes to the close-ended case in the case of marketing area, then it is not possible to do more than one. Because one particular case in a marketing study may be concentrating on a one particular point. So it's going to be make the overall case study. Basically, it can be said that whenever we are looking towards the HBI cases, however, business cases, there we are normally being coming that it can be used by same case. Yet by you, you are going to the HR class, different view. When you go to the marketing class, different view. So multiple case design, same study has two or more cases. You know, number of time you may be come across to the case in the book of the management control systems or sometime in the strategic management course and so, where after the name of the case it was said in bracket A, then it was said in bracket B, in bracket C, like that. So the same study have the interrelationship with each other. You know, this is the another way have been happened from the Harvard cases. That when the Harvard cases have been very long enough, where the part of the Harvard case can be useful for the SEM 1, part will be for SEM 2, part will be for SEM 3 in the first year. Now in this particular case, you cannot have the same case to be repeatedly do. So you cut out the case into the specific parameters. So in the first level, first SEM, you may talk about the concept and the theme of the same. The evidence from multiple cases is more compelling, which make the overall study more robust. Undertaking a multiple case study can require extensive resources and time beyond the means of single researcher or single teacher. Teacher can become the good teacher if he is a good researcher. That's one of the very important things you have to find. Reading from the books, explaining from the books, limiting the sense as a teacher towards the one book only is never going to be useful to you. Like I am an account person, finance person, way when I actually wrote so many books and everything. But whenever I have to always update myself that what are the new things have been coming, and any institution I have to go. Like if I come to the GSPBIM, what type of the case I have to choose. When I'm going to the NMIMS, what case I have to choose. When I go to the Amity, Noida, when I go to the BIMTAC, Noida, what type of the case I have to use. I should be very careful. So the case of the seminary regions or container regions, because there you are going to be said that okay, how explicitly the participants are going to be issued. Usefulness of the case study. Hence, the one another thing is that below of the slide as a end page marking or end of a particular PPT, I have given the resource sources. So you can go through it and don't try to be write it at this moment, understand my logic. At the end, later on, I'm going to forward the full PPTs to the madam. Okay, so it may be available to you. So case studies can be used to provide the description. Like MCA teachers can say that okay, there is a description is being coming, that there is a management of the inventory to be done so that the ordering can be done in a proper way. Then they test the theory that which type of the programming are to be used, whether the updation of the program is to be done immediately or it should be done at every half an hour, because you have to look through so many other parameters. So it's finally generate the theory. So when you prepare such type of cases and discuss with classroom, students are getting the idea that how these are going to be affecting their study. When we have to choose the case, choice of history, case studies or experiment will depends on assess you have. History, how much data will be available from the archaeological department, what are going to be the government requirements and so. Preferred in examining the contemporary events. That's one of the very important things. Experiments are done when the investigator can manipulate behavior directly, precisely, and systematically. So you can prepare the case by, if you are the teacher of the MCA and you are trying to say that how the accounting software should be developed, then there is a experiments are to be done. Before that, interviews are being taken place with each and every member, operating personnel of the accounts and finance department, and you precisely practically work out. So features of the case study is always consider singularity. It's a very important thing. So case is going to be represent the one particular organization or one event in a time. A bounded system, Kaspanev said in his book that there is a bounded system can be used where both time and space can be taken place. Like someone says that up to the period 1990 or some places or some particular time period in India, Indian government was believing in the socialistic economy, and based on that, there is a case study have been prepared that whether the socialistic system is advisable in which circumstances and what are the positivity and negativity is there. So it may be mainly the open-ended case. More than one source of information to get an in-depth pictures. Basically, whenever socialistic, you are looking towards the Gujarati people who used to say that we pay the more taxes and it is being taken by some other one. When you go to the Bihar or some other state where people say that it has supported the society or some lower class or lower middle class to survive. So it's coming to the methodological triangulation or the respondent triangulation. So no, in that particular moment I prepare the case and my students are making the classroom discussion or I do the research, I may come down to the methodological parameters or the respondent triangulation. It's deep but not very broad. So empirical evidences have been looked to from the view of research, connection, storage, sharing of the information, visualization of the thing, volume, and the analyses have been done. Like here in the analyses, I have shown the symbol of the chemistry subject where it can done. So empirical evidence refers to factual data. Your data is connected by experiment and observations. A case study is an empirical which is conducted within a localized boundary. Within a localized boundary, you can do it. Interesting inquiry into aspect of an educational activities, program, institution, system, etc. With a due respect, I used to be say that the people used to be say that the Gujarat University teaching education level is quite lower than the another university in Maharashtra side. So this is the interesting inquiry is coming. In its nature, consider within an ethic of respect for persons. It is going to be done. To inform the judgment and decisions of policymakers and practitioners, it is going to be happen. So it is going to be happen towards the level of the theoretician level that how it is being done. A case study is an empirical inquiry which is connecting the sufficient data for the researcher to be able to explore the significant feature. That's why I say that every teacher should be first researcher to become the successful teacher, efficient teacher. Explore the significant features, create plausible interpretation. Means what are the plausible interpretations can be done from the different argument. So normally it should be happen that you should have the certain notes have been prepared and what have been discussed and like that. Taste third worthiness of this. Construct a worthwhile argument or story. Like if the something have been happened, you construct a worthful story for that. Relate the argument or story to relevant research in the literature. So in the case study also, we normally used to be discuss the case study and part of the portion of the case study, the subject related theoretical discussion have been given. Conveys convincingly to an audience the argument or story and is provide an audit train for other researcher to validate or challenge. So normally what happened that whenever I prepare one particular case and before it goes for the publication of the South Asian journal of the case study or something, I try to be take the opinions of my colleagues and to see that how the case can be interpreted, what are the mistakes have been done. So case study is basically research approach, not a method. Nature and activity systematically recorded. Methods of connecting the data are chosen to fit the case for study and then strategic thing to impute thought process and creative thinking. Very important. Team have to impute the thought process and start the creative thinking using more than one method, enable a researcher to triangulate the findings. That's what I explained. So, case study protocol. So, whenever there is a case study is coming, we have to come to the case study protocol also, which is the Robert Ian have said that overall case study, number one, you should have the background informations that what the organization was, issue being investigated, inventory, find the procedures. You can have access to the websites, assistant schedule for data connection. You can have case study questions are being asked that keep the investigator on track, that they are not going outside. So here the investigator, maybe the teacher or anyone, distinguish among the number of question. That's what I say, semester 1 case, semester 2, semester 3. Pathway between. Does there is a in between any way is available or not? Yes, if it's available, then what are the evidences have been provided in a case? And then you have to study the guide for case study report. Okay. So Robert have given it in his case study research book in the chapter number 3 and later on in the chapter number 6 very nicely that you can prepare it. So analyze within the field and cause case data, assist in organizing the enormous quantity of data. So cause case data force the researcher, teacher, participants to go beyond the initial impression. For cross-case data analysis can look at within group similarities and inter-group differences. Between the two groups, what type of the differences have been happening. Like a case being studied, taught in Ahmedabad-based institutions, case being taught in the Anand-based institutions, there are going to be the differences of the look towards it. So select the pair of case, needs the similarity and differences between each group. It forces the researcher to look for subtle similarities and differences. Possible sources of evidence we have Archive Accord or the policy documents. Like I said, that is sometime if I have to work out that there is a intergroup inter-concern marriages are taking place. Then I require the Archive Accords and the policy document, which goes up to the time of the Jahangir or so, when they get married to Hindu girls and like this, those things were happening. So it's not today's point. So you have to go to the Archive Accord. Direct observations, you observe the things are being happen. Interview, participants' observations. So one is the participants' own observations and their own physical artifact being give you the answer. Question, and there are more, but one of these would be suitable and likely to be accessible for social science research. Nowadays, the social science research and life science are getting more and more time, more and more requirement. So methods will be discussed in next time, next teaching day, but methods should be fit for purpose, not just personal choice. So which method you should try to use to connect the data, to write the case. Method may be derived from reading literature about the topic. Literature about the topic, you borrow someone else's method with proper attributions. Like, number of times is happening that nowadays I'm much more working on the social science and life science area, where I have the in-depth knowledge of finance and accounting, and there also parallelly I get towards the societal and conscious knowledge being happening. I become a senior, so you combine together and you prepare the case. Benefits of getting the ideas from literature is that someone else's method have been used at least once before, so you can debug it. MCA students can understand very well that debugging can be done of the same thing. We can learn from the experience of previous researchers, their success or failure, or the teacher's success or failure in the classroom to manage the things. our own tiny sample of evidence can be compared with finding of the others. So there is a two group of students have been sent to do the case study on the same topic. Topic is exactly the same. The sample units for which we are preparing the case is also the same. But we do not allow the both group members to talk to each other. They do not have the time. Like a group member number one goes for the 5 days in a X company. The moment they come back to the college on the next Monday, second group already went towards that particular study. Now, before they commit, there is a case study report have been prepared by the group number one, which is kept in the confidential mode or not being disclosed to the second group. And second group come on their own findings and then you compare it. So there is a difference being covered. Disadvantage of getting the idea because someone else method may not be fit in our context. Someone research may be dated, overtaken by more recent findings. It means that it is being so many times used, or you may be using the someone else's work as a plagiarism, then what to do? Advantages are that it's allowed the in-depth investigations are to be done by us. I say that the one group of students are going for 5 days and they do the in-depth study. Copes with complexity, provides a rounded picture from the multiple sources of information. And quantitative in nature, this is one of the very important words. Quantitative nature. So group number one may have some different way to think the procedure in compared to group two. Now when the both group is being giving the case to you, you can prepare the methodological triangulations and you can say that how it is going to be fit as a small scale research or single researcher in a short period of time. And that is why reading your subject related research journal on a regular way is very important when we have to in a better way. Disadvantage of the case study approach is number one is a lack of ego, is a lack of generalizability. Finding may be unique to the particular case, may not be generally applicable to the every place. Like a steel industry, something you do, HR related, you do it. Then particular person who have been trying to be moved to any place within the Gujarat, within the India, their HR attitude, their thought process is different than the person who do not like to be new the city also. So he generate the large quantity of data and is required or demanding the more time as a one more feature of your case study is you will be an inside researcher. That is researching your own school or own enterprise. Like you can say that why the Anand Institute of Management have been merged with the information and why the MBA and MCA department are being combined together. So this is your own school. You can find out the reason for the same or what challenges is so. So the recommended follow on reading from today, very importantly to every you young teachers I'm saying that become the insider researchers, read the more and more research papers, case study, and obey the guidelines of the ethical research. Limitations: one researcher, not all environments is identical. That is the speed limit 70 is being given. Time is important, or the multiple or connective any generalization can be done, and it requires extensive time. Things to ponder always. Case studies are complex, require careful planning before you go to the class, because there may be some problem may be happen between the participant and the researcher. Here the researcher means teacher. This should be carefully considered in terms of ethics. Nowadays, because of some no and everything, some word you cannot speak in classroom openly. So these are the things are coming. Using more than one method is but desirable, but that has a lot of time. Like you can give them the case study solution by way of assignment. That the problem is that everyone answer may be the same. You say them to send it in the soft form, then copy and something is going to be done. We advise against choosing your research topic immediately. Like here I took the practical example. On the November teaching day, we will look at methodology and method, which will help you to frame your choice and draft your research proposal. The next step that you have decided your choice as a teacher, if we get the more case study done by students, we will be capable, you will be capable enough to convert into the research proposal, research papers by doing some more homework, and you can prepare for your own API score to increase, or it may be the pre-reading material for the next teaching. Connection and analysis. Now I may not be taking more than 1 or 2 minutes. The researcher is the observer and the analyzer. He's an observer also and he's an analyzer also. He analyzes. It is not going to be now happen like a politician who observes the thing but does not analyze anything. So it's very important. Here we have to analyze it. So conclusion is generally used to develop a more intense study. That is why every research paper or so we say the further scope of study. The same way in the case study, we say that in a different way the case studies can also be looked. Thank you very much, friends. Any question? And this is my contact details. Yes, Bindya madam, any questions from anyone or common ma'am? Yes. Okay. Okay. Definitely. Okay. See, there the ABCD journals are normally looking towards the quantitative journal, the quantitative database, because whenever we are like to be looked towards the European culture or so, they are basically going on a statistical way in the subject of our finance also. economics also they are doing it. Like very recently, when the European countries have increased the interest rate of 0.5, 0.50 percentage interest rate have been increased upon before 2 days ago, they have basically used the equation modeling system. And that is why they are nowadays saying that the application of the econometrics is very important. Now, as an Indian, or I can say that within a few places, institution also does not have the authorized software of the SPSS, MOs, and they have not trained them to do it. So see, that is why I say that every teacher is a learner and every teacher is a researcher. So if we want to talk very lucidly, we have to inform to the students very important page, then there is a need that we should have the basic statistical theory have been done. And that is why the application of the smart PNS equation is important, not only for the doctoral thesis, but in research paper also. Normally, the Scopus journal are more looking towards the different type of the test. In a case study, only somewhere it should be mentioned or giving the idea that whether it is going to be used a parametric test study or the non-parametric test study. Now, if you are being covering the non-parametrics and the questionnaire is inbuilt in the case study, then students are getting the idea that whenever quantitative databases are there, we have to use the non-parametric test. Whenever there is a financial statements are being given, and that based on that the projections of the accounting can be projections of the next year or next 5 years finance can be explained through the Microsoft Excel or SPSS use. And that is why it is very important that statistics should be very strong enough. Today also smart PNS and those when I have to use, I require to open my multivariate analysis book and to study in detail. Because you may not be recon everything every time. So you have to do it. But I think the somewhere the parameters are to be introduced to the teachers also that they should learn more about the statistical parameters. There is a one book is coming, 100 statistical tests by the Gopal Kanji. Very importantly, you can write this book name. If you are knowing, then it's okay. 100 statistical tests by Gopal Kanji is a one of the famous book and is downloadable from the pdfjai.com also, which gives you the idea that in which circumstances which test to be used. So whenever you use a case study research method in your research paper publication, then it's better for you. So there is a need that there is a statistical analysis and what I said, the book name that you may require to refer to it. But I say it should be with you. I have also my own book is with me still today. So whenever I stop, suffer, I open it up. Yes. Any question? Other faculties? Thank you very much, Vidya. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sure, madam. Okay. Sure, sure, definitely. Thank you very much, Vidya, and Anand Institute of Management and on staff, on my colleagues, faculty to heard to me very easily and to get the idea. You can also contact me the way I have done it. But normally WhatsApp is advisable than the telephonic talk sometime. Thank you very much. Thanks for it.